Okay, page 327. Polyrhythms and polymeters. This is also 20th century. A polyrhythm, we've done this before. When we were doing the 2 against 3, that's a polyrhythm. It's different divisions of a beat against other divisions. I don't like this chapter either because they start you out with 5s. They should really start you with something like 3s and 4s to get it going. So, let's see. Can you two just go 1, not 2, right there? Just keep a beat. Just keep a beat. Let's stay. Not fast. Okay, now you two do add a tag. To be a 3. So you felt the 3 against the 2. So that's a polyrhythm. So if you have one group do 4 and another do 5, or one group do 4 and another do 3, that's a polyrhythm. Polyrhythms are kind of unnerving because it feels like one of the people is rushing. So you have to be pretty good at rhythm to do the polyrhythms. Otherwise, people just think that it's rushing. A polymeter would be something like page 330, number 8. At the top of page 330. You're actually in 2 different meters. So the bar lines do not coincide. Now, this is not so bad unless you're following a conductor. But let's take, let's see, got some 5/8. Imagine this is an 8th note, not a quarter, but an 8th note. So the top line, if that's the 8th note, is, got it? Try just the top line for a second. 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, now the bottom line, 1, 2, ready, and. Now, split. You 3 are doing the top line, and you 3 do the bottom line. So you have to really concentrate on that 8th note. 1, 2, ready, and. Everyone hear the top line. Do it again. 1, 2, ready, and. Yeah, did you feel it?
Wow, I even got off and somehow was able to get back on.
Yeah. I'll tell you, a lot of these rocket science things, they're scary, and then you get into them and you try them, and you get over the scary, and you're like, well, that wasn't so bad. And then it tends to be, or can be, kind of fun. All right, the second last one on that page that I gave you. I thought I had covered this once before, but I guess I didn't. The 3/8. This is called a Baroque adagio. That's the nickname for this. I've talked about this. When Mozart would write his pieces, when he wrote his sonatas, sometimes he would take the slow movement, the second movement, and he would use a key signature or time signature that ended up with a lot of 32nd notes or something, like a 3/8 or a 3/16 or something. So the music looked more complex than it was. And sometimes it would look like this. Now, he would write it in a 3/8, but the tempo was so slow that you couldn't count 3 beats per measure. You had to count 6. So if you see this, how many beats per measure, we're at the second last line, the 3/8, how many beats per measure would you have to be able to count this? To be able to count those groups of 4 tautata, like number tautata? No.
Four.
No, not 4.
3/4.
It would have to be a 3 something. No, I'm sorry, you're right. It would have to be, not 3/7, I'm sorry. Would have to be 6/7. You'd have to double the top number.
6/8.
Okay.
Let's see, that would work. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6/8. Now, this Baroque Adagio, you've got to count twice as many beats as are written to get the 1 to theta to work out. So, in other words, instead of a 3/8, you'd have to count this as a 6/8. So it'd be 1 pulse, 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 theta, 6 theta, 1 pulse, pulse, pulse. 5 theta, 6 theta, 1 theta, pulse, theta, 5 theta, 6. Yeah, 5 theta, 6 theta. So 1, 2, pulse, 4, 5 theta, 6. Now,
I didn't get that.
double all the note values. So in a, let's see, like a half note tied to,
And we just have to clap this, right? We don't have to count it?
no, you have to
Okay.
count clap it, yeah. So on this one, it's got 6 beats per measure. So you have to find out where those beats are to figure out where the pulses go. But there are 6 per measure. Now, you can see in the first measure, the last 2 are pulse to theta, 6 to theta.
Or what?
Are we looking at the same paper?
Second last line, first measure. But the last 2 groups of 4 64th notes,
right.
that would be pulse to theta, 6 to theta.
Pulse to theta, 6 to theta.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't see the
pulse to theta.
So
6.
1 pulse, 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 pulse to theta, 6 to
No,
theta.
he's saying this is pulse, ta, theta, 6 ta, theta. That's what he's saying. That's how I'm interpreting what he's saying that I'm telling you.
No, first measure, the second last line.
But why is it 6 ta,
Why is,
theta?
yeah, why is it 6?
Okay, because we don't have a counting system.
Why isn't it 3 ta, theta? Why isn't it 1 pulse? ta,
Oh,
theta?
because we're dividing the quarter note into 3. Is that
Oh,
correct?
you know what? We don't have a counting system. Oh. We'll have to talk about this Thursday. We'd have to actually divide this twice. So it would be 12. It would be 12 beats a measure.
Oh. Because of that 8th note up there by itself.
Oh, because of that 64th notes.
And
So we don't have a system for counting 32nd notes if the
Right.
quarter note gets the beat. Okay, hold on. So, but we're counting the 8th note. Okay, let me take it back. So we go to 3. Now, let's talk about it on Thursday.
Well, could you do 1 pulse, 3, just the 8 lit like we did there? That's what it looks like.
Say again?
If we do it, if 1 pulse and then pulse
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh,
7, 8.
but that, no, we want to count it in 1 to theta, 2 to theta is what we want to do. So the last 4 have to be number ta theta, right? So add 4 64th notes together. What value is that?
8, 464, no, 32. 16.
1/16.
116.
So we have to give the
1/16
16th note
gets
the beat. So how many 16th notes in 3/8?
16.
16. 12.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, my brain's going
Can we
away.
talk about Tristan for a little bit more?
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about it Thursday. Have a great day. Good luck with the count time.